Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Introduce, my name is Arif Luqman from the Department S1 Management Alih Program. I want to present my Skripsi entitled The Influence of Purpose Intention and Attitudes on Willingness to Pay, Studies on Jobs, Medicine, Consumers. Background: most people are willing to spend a lot more for health when an unwell person needs medicine to recover. Before deciding to make a purchase, consumer asks for medicine references that can heal. In order for consumers to have the willingness to pay, they need purchase intention and consumer attitude. Number 1. When people are sick, usually they will ask the doctor or the closest person to make sure what medicine they will buy to treat their illness. Number 2. Society considers patented or branded medicine as high quality. Medicine can provide maximum healing and has an image prestigious medicine with higher price. Problem formulation. Does purchase intention have any effects on willingness to pay? Is there an effect of attitude on willingness to pay? Research purpose: to determine the effects of purchase intention on willingness to pay. To determine the effects of attitude on willingness to pay. Research benefit. Number 1. Academics. This research is expected to contribute in the academic work for the development of science and education, especially regarding purchase intention, attitude, and willingness to pay. Practice for management studies program for research for companies. Theoretical studies. Whitwood 2003, Menkyu 2004, Hub and Menchikano 2002, and Badeni 2013 explain the willingness to pay in the maximum amount of a person's individual status for a willingness to pay for an items of service. Swasta and Handokop 2009, Howard in Swardi 2009, Schiffman and Kanuk 2012, Kotler and Keller 2016. Purchase intention in the consumer attitude toward an object, then the individual's interest cause the consumer's desire to buy a certain product by exchange in for money. Mokijat in Putra 2014, Kotler and Keller 2016, Lamher Sikort and Beckham in Aswar 2015, Angel et al. In Hidekasi 2014. Attitude is a trade process by customer to show a response, a gift, objects accordance with their respective personal standards. Theoretical framework: purchase intentions X1 or H1 influence on willingness to pay or Y. Attitude X1 or H1 influence on willingness to pay. Hypothesis 1. HA purchase intention has no effects on willingness to pay. HA purchase intention effects on willingness to pay. Hypothesis 2. Attitude has no effects on willingness to pay. Attitude effects on willingness to pay. Population and sample. The research method used in this study is quantitative method. In this study, the research used multiple regression analysis determine whether or not there was an influence between the three variables to be studied. This population is people who have both codipron shock medicine the sample is a subset of the population consisting of several members of the population. The sample is this study was 200 people. The sampling technique method used in this research is purpose sampling, analysis method, instrument test, validity test. Validity test is used to measure whether the quantity is valid or not. The questionnaire is declared valid if the statement of question in the questionnaire is able to measure what a desired. The reliability test. Instruments or measuring tools in a study must have reliable validity and reliability. Normality test. Normality test is useful to find out whether the independent variable and the dependent variable in this study are both normally distributed close to normal or not. A linearity test. The linearity test aims to determine whether two variables have a linear relationship or not. Significantly, linearity test is usually used practice in correlation analysis or linear regression. Multicollinearity test. The multicollinearity test is useful to determine whether the proposed regression model has found a strong correlation between the independent variable. Heterogeneity test. Heterogeneity test was conducted to determine whether in the regression model there was inequality of the variance from the residuals of another observation if the variance of the residuals of another observation remains. It is called homogeneity. Will for different variance it is called heterogeneity. Regression analysis. Multiple linear regression test. This analysis is to predict the value of the dependent variable if the value of the independent variable increases or decreases, and to determine the direction of the relationship between the independent variable and the dependent variable, whether such independent and dependent variable is positively or negatively related. F-test simultaneous regression. The F-test is used to determine whether the independent variables simultaneously have a significant effect of the dependent variable. Coefficient of determinant analysis R quadrat. The analysis determinant in multiple linear regression is used to determine the percentage of the influence of the independent variables contribution simultaneously on the dependent variable. This coefficient shows how big the percentage of variation of the independent variable used in the model is able to explain the variation of the dependent variable. Validity test. Based on the table above, it can be seen that the KMO value shown from all variables is having a KMO value in pattern matrix bigger 0.05, a significance level of 0.00, which means all variables are valid. Reliability test. Based on the result of the reliability test for each variable using the Cronbach alpha technique, if can be seen that the Cronbach alpha value is bigger 0.6 of for the variable of desire to pay, purchase intention, and attitude, respectively 0.934, and then 0.653 and 0.642. So the instruments of the three variables are declared reliable because the Cronbach alpha value greater than 0.6. Normality test. Based on the normality test table, in which was carried using the SPSS 22 Kolmogorov-Smirnov test program, it can be seen that the value of this study is greater than 0.05, and the significance level is 0.05. So it can be considered that all the variables are normally distributed, so that it fulfills the requirements for the parametric statistic method of multiple linear regression analysis. Linearity test. Based on the table above, the result, the linearity test of each variable have a linearity value. Normally, this purchase intention variable x1 of 0.0 of attitude variable x2 of 0.00. That it can be said that for each x variable, there is a linear relationship to y because the value of sig linearity less than 0.05. If can be considered that in the regression between the independent variable purchase intention or x1 and attitude or x2 toward the desire to pay or y, there is no multicollinearity between the independent variables. Heteroscedasticity test. The correlation between purchase intention and instantaneous residual yield a significance value of 0.811. Attitude with instantaneous residual result in a significant value of 0.619. So I can be concluded that in the regression model there is no heteroscedasticity problems. This is because the correlation significance value is a regression greater than 0.05. Multiple linear regression results. The regression coefficients value of the process intention variable is positive, which 0.3791. This can be interpreted that every one increase in purchase intention score, it will increase the desire to pay by 0.371 score with a fixed attitude variable. The regression coefficient value of the attitude variable a positive, which 0.040. This can interpreted that everyone increase in the attitude score will increase the willingness to pay by 0.340. T-test result. Based on the previous table, the purchase intention variable has a t-taken value of 7.02. The t-taken value of the purchase intention variable in then compared with the t-table value to t-taken bigger t-table is 7.072 bigger on 97 on 90. The significance of the purchase intention variable is 0.00 and less than 0.05. So the conclusion drawn in that H is rejected and HA is upset. Thus purchase intention has a positive effect on the desire to pay. Based on the table, the attitude variable is t-taken 6.324. The taken value of the attitude variable in then compared with the t-table value to t-choke bigger t-table is 6.324 bigger on 0.97 on 90. The significance of the attitude variable is 0.0 and less than 0.05. So the conclusion drawn in that HO is rejected and HA is upset. Thus the attitude has a positive effect of the desire to pay. The result of the coefficient of determine the value of adjusted R quadrat atau R square is 0.411 or 41.1%. This shown that 41.1% willingness to pay is explained by buying intention and attitude factors, while the remaining for 1.1% is explained by other variables. Conclusion. The first hypothesis statement or H1 is absent. Purchase intention has a positive influence on the willingness to pay. Consumer codepron chokes medicine the effects of purchase intention on the desire to pay has a t-taken value of 7.072, while the t-table value is 1.978. It can be said that this value is significant for that H1 is acceptable. 2. The second hypothesis statement H2 is absent. Attitude has a positive influence on the willingness to pay. Consumer codepron chokes medicine the effects of attitude on desire to pay has a true taken value of 6.324, while a t-table value of 1.978. It can be said that this value is significant for that H2 is acceptable. The third hypothesis statement or H3 is absent. Purchase intention and attitude have significant positive effects of the willingness to pay for codepron chokes medicine consumer. The influence or purchase intention and attitude towards willingness to pay. Has a F-count value of 70.344, while the F-table value is 2.76. It can be said that this value is significant for that H3 as acceptable. Suggestion. Number 1, improving purchase intention, especially by providing information to consumer about the such effects of codepron for its use by placing it in a section that is easily seen by consumers. 2, so that companies can improve their attitude by providing education on goods, drug storage, and providing information on how long the drugs can be used. Thank you for information attention.